Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So it's been made crystal clear to me that there's people who are working in the psychological operation unit that are collaborating with various groups of people to try to use the Trump tariffs to send me a message. And because that is a description of a mental illness, right? Schizophrenia, schizoaffective, various mental illnesses include people thinking that there are coded messages being sent to them through the news. Okay, now keep in mind I have 23 witnesses on record of the psychological operation against me. So based on that and the testimonies of people who are the victims of various technologies from Havana syndrome to voice-to-skull technologies and synthetic telepathy, technologies that are proven to exist, it's safe to say that both I and the viewers know that it is logical to know, and to know that you're right to know, that they're persecuting me, and that they are trying to play me out as crazy or something. But the evidence is overwhelming. I am sane and I'm right. So the people who work for the psychological operations units, they've basically told me that I have till April 2nd to do something I would never do, which is to lie about what matters most, something I would never do, about God Almighty, and to argue in a way that's consistent with white Jew, LGBT, Israeli, European, and American propaganda. To ask anybody to do that is extremely evil. It's against God's law. And even against, the law of man and the Constitution and what have you. The law of mere man, mind you. To ask Christ to do it is a deep crime against God and humanity. And because they keep harassing me, because of all the crimes against God and humanity that they've done in this case, because they've told me at more than one point that the American government is doing something that certainly the people must know is stupid, at least most of them, which is waging war against God on behalf of the American people. And the American people are not only obeying their orders and their various governing class aligned groups, but they keep reproducing. Even if one was to argue that there's small groups of people here and there who don't approve of the government, okay, or individuals here and there who don't approve and aren't doing what they say, they should know to not reproduce. And this makes it clear. On a planet that's run by evil people with lots of money and technology, it makes it clear that I'm right about the divine verdict. Anyone who doesn't obey God through me is a tare. They are a goat. They are a bad fish. They are a weed whose soul will be thrown into the lake of fire. And it is my divine duty to say so. And right now they're using technology to try to make it so, trying to make it so I sound propaganda-ish or something. Again, I never sound like the churches naturally. I never sound propaganda-ish. That's them changing my voice. And they have technologies. They can change people's voices while they're speaking. And there are probably millions and millions of people that know I'm right about that by now. Countless people in California, in this area, have been in stores and parking lots where I was being fumed. And these fumes can change behaviors, can make it harder for you to make decisions, and make you make decisions you would otherwise make, especially ones in regards to dating and sexual behavior. They synchronize. They talk about synchronization. The New Age movement is a front. It's a CIA front for the technological sabotage and brain hacking that DARPA and other groups have been researching, that they've been applying for years now. In the name of overkilling, doing a good job, I will give America and the people watching this one day to respond to this video in the comments and to explain themselves. Okay. Then I will double down on my divine verdicts, which are response to people who work for the governing class, white, Jew, LGBT especially, token minorities, the Israeli government, the American government, the European governments, who have made it clear to me that they intend to not only wage war against God, but to try to stigmatize me to the people of the earth by forcing me to say it because of what they're doing. What they're doing makes it clear that the right thing to do is to declare these nations and these groups the enemies of God. Now, some of you look like Adam Sandler or something. You look confused, out of touch. Some of you are inbred Europeans. Some of you are very arrogant people. Some of you are like skaters saying, dude. Some of you are rockers. Some of you are drug addicts, and on and on and on, right? The sheeple, the lemmings. And you don't understand that God is very real. That principles predate human existence. You don't understand the deeper implications of that. Of justice being something that lots and lots of animal species take into account to the degree that they're able to take it into account. You don't understand the implications of the entropic principle and life being balanced on a razor's edge and the odds of life existing under these exact terms. You don't understand the implications of martial arts. What are the odds that life comes into existence and then martial arts in its pure form, conveying the spirit of righteousness in profound strikes, comes into existence? You think that all that's a coincidence, and you think that your government should not try to mitigate the risk to some degree, the risk of extra punishment. You think that they should continue to persecute me and fuel me and poison me and stick their nose ups in the air and say white power and Jewish power and LGBT power and chant America and say stupid things. You think that they should worship the devil and be Luciferians and not accept the boundaries of what's fair and just and right to the point where they're persecuting the most righteous person ever possible just for the principles of evil. All you are way out of touch with reality. You're nowhere near decent parents. You've disgraced and dishonored your families to the extreme. Before I go on and on about the verdicts against America and Israel and Europe, as someone born in America, mind you, and my kingdom is not of this world, I'll give them a chance to respond, but certainly what we know that they've done already is extreme. What I've been advising them, as someone who's tried to help them more than anyone in human history ever will, is that they should stop persecuting me, they should compensate me, etc. And ideally, they should give me my rightful place, but I know that they don't seem like the people that would do that. So I say that the bare minimum they should do is what I just said earlier. Stop persecuting me, stop gang stalking me, compensate me, set the stage for me to find a suitable helper and to get her tubes tied. That's the smart and wise thing to do. And again, I can't stress this part enough. You don't have to be a Christian or monotheistic or Jewish or Muslim, someone who takes it more seriously than other people who label themselves those things, to know that the wise thing to do, if you're agnostic, if you're a secularist, is to mitigate the risk. And when I say the risk, it's what I know for sure is going to happen to them as the smartest person that ever lived, but they're not me. They're some kind of Adam Sandler, Rick Moranis looking person, some kind of inbred Stifler from American Pie looking person with a suit, maybe a Freemason. I say this not to insult them, to be direct, to help you understand the situation. Their brains don't function that well. Autistic people are skilled at things, but they aren't very good at making decisions, life decisions in general. And some are very horrible at making life decisions in general. And so it is with the governing class. They are mere craftsmen and nerds and skilled labor at best. They are nowhere near qualified to make the decision that is before them right now. And you can tell by their actions, the decisions they've made thus far, especially in the last 43 years. I urge the people to rise up and to force the governing class to mitigate this risk, because they too will be punished to the extreme for taking their side on this issue. Proverbs 18:9, One who is slack in their work is brother to one who destroys. And don't forget Matthew 6, I believe it's verse 33. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. And I would add, or all is lost for you. Okay, I also think it's important to note that a person has a right to vent his anger at the government and whoever has done them wrong when you treat them the way that I've been treated. But when you consider that I'm the most righteous person ever possible, and the implications of it, the deeper implications of it, it's clear that I have far more of a right than that. And so that is key here as well. It is a mistake to look at this and say, well, this guy is making America look bad, or Israel, or Europe, or he's a threat to our propaganda campaign. That's stupid. Those things are very superficial. These are mere human ideas. It doesn't matter if every American goes on and on about how they hate the government and how much the country has failed. It doesn't matter. So it's very silly to look at it that way and to make that argument. Okay, freedom of speech far transcends the possibility that every single person in the country is unhappy and goes on and on about how much they hate the country. When you don't understand that, you need to step down and let somebody take your job who does understand that. So let me make this clear too, so people know that it's far more than fair for me to say these things. I do not want anyone to do any senseless violence. Okay? This video is about my divine duty. It's not about inciting any sort of violence.